I was on my way coming here.
Okay.
I had a friend.
Okay.
They were talking. So I was not concerned.
Okay.
But I had crisis midlife. So I had them discussing midlife crisis. That is, what happened is midlife crisis. It's usually happen.
Okay.
That's I want to ask. Is anything called midlife crisis?
Okay. Anyway,
have you ever had midlife?
I'm going to answer that question. But before I answer that question, let me just make sure our audience knows that this is going to be a bilingual kind of program. Yes. Whereby even if you want to send in your question, you can send it in through Yoruba and English.
Real life talk in ta fẹ́ mọ̀ ṣe lórí ètò yìí. Àlẹ́ tí mò ń béèrè sẹ́ ẹni yẹn sọ wípé midlife crisis. Kí n ṣe nǹkan kan wà tí wọ́n ń pè midlife crisis.
Okay, there is midlife crisis.
Ó ń gbé mi lọ́kàn tó bá wojú mi ó rí pé
there is midlife crisis, and it's very real as human being, as our flesh. And when we talk about midlife crisis, let's even talk about what midlife means and what crisis means. It's like a 3 words together. Mid, what is mid? Is half of something.
Ìlàjì
kan.
Ó là ń pè ní mid.
Yeah.
And
life is like ayé. So it's like ìgbàgbede méjì ayé yẹn.
Ìlàjì ìgbé ayé yẹn.
Midlife. So
and crisis
is like crisis like a times of intense difficulty or danger. That's what crisis can be likened to. It's like sometimes when you are confused, when you don't know what to do.
Ajẹ́pà lè sọ pé àwọn nǹkan tí ò tẹ́ni lọ́rùn tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà tí ìgbé ayé ẹ̀dá bá dé agbede méjì ó là ń pè ní midlife crisis.
So it's as real as anything.
O sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan ní as real as our flesh.
It's as real as our flesh. And then most times, maybe because of ignorance, some of us don't take cognizance of it. In fact, most people don't take cognizance of it. Because I was discussing it with one of my junior brother. I said, so that means that thing is very real and as real as anything. And when you say midlife crisis, it's not like a time in somebody's life that you have this thought that you are aging.
Pípẹ́ àǹdàgbà sí pípẹ́ òdì náà mọ̀ tí tó yẹ ọdún báyìí bí mo ọmọ mọ̀ tí tó gbé 40 ọdún pé kí wọ́n ní téèyàn lè reflect padà sí ayé rẹ̀ kó wo ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ bó ṣe ń bọ̀ kó wo ibi tó wá bá dé.
And also there is this thought there is this saying that a fool at 40 is a fool forever. That particular statement has put so much pressure to people.
Tá a ti gbọ́ tó a ti kó sínú ọpọlọ has put so many people on that pressure.
And on an edge. The feeling of an edge. Like, okay, I'm 3 years to 40 years. I'm 5 years to 40 years. So thereby you'll be looking at yourself as a failure.
What have I achieved?
I'm almost 40. So it's like a midlife. People that say, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So you'll be looking at and the people that brought out that word, that full at 40 is that statement that full at 40 is a fool forever. They also mean they're talking about your midlife. By the time you are 40, you're almost half gone.
So but when you reflect and see that I have not got this, I've not achieved this, so that person would now be having psychological turmoil.
Yeah, psychological. It's like a feeling of depression. You can be having a feeling of depression, anxiety, remorse, and you'll be thinking that anger. Sometimes you are here.
Bínú a máa bí ọ̀rọ̀ tí ò tó bínú gbà mí ẹlòmíì àsọjà kalẹ̀ nínú ilé.
Ẹlòmíì tẹ̀ máa kara mọ́ ọmọ nínú ilé àbí ìyàwó ẹ̀ nínú ilé. Ẹlòmíì máa kara mọ́ ọkọ ẹ̀ nínú ilé.
Ẹlòmíì àsìkò yẹn ni àwọn àìsàn oríṣiríṣi ó ṣẹyọ.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni
àgọ́ ara tí ò ní jẹ́ kó já fẹ́fẹ́fẹ́ mọ́.
Ìta máa ń pè ní kankan ní IBP. That is, you discover that if you check a lot of people, if you do a research, you discover that most people develop IBP from the age of 30, from 30 to 50 years. That's their midlife. They are having crisis, and that crisis, if it is not well managed, it can lead to a lot of things.
ó lè mú kó òjijì wá, ó lè kó sí nǹkan tí ò lè.
There is actually nothing that a midlife crisis. You know, when something is it's like a crisis, they call it crisis, and in a time of crisis you discover that nothing works.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò sí gbogbo nǹkan dàbí ìgbà tó kúlú musu tó
You may even like I've heard this. There was a time I heard this. It's like a skit online. I was maybe on TikTok. That the person said, if your husband walks in suddenly on you, and he tells you that, look, I don't want to do the work I'm doing again. I want to go to the moon. That don't argue with him. Just tell him, I'm going to make your space suit and give it to you, and give it to him, and tell him, please call me when you land on the moon. Because the man is that's a woman that has understood what this
midlife crisis
that this
all
man
about.
If you are arguing with that kind of man, you are only wasting your time. That woman that made that skit must have understood what midlife crisis is even before the husband came in to say, oh, I want to go, I'm not doing this work here, I want to become an astronaut, Don't argue with him. Just make him a space suit, and tell him, please call me when you land on the moon, because he knows that the man is going through a crisis, and arguing with them at that particular moment will not solve any issue. You have to understand, and as a woman, as a man, when you understand that, you know how to manage the situation. Some people will go to the pastor and say, I'm not even happy at the job, right? It's better to look at your life and see that you are not going through midlife crisis. Because if it is midlife crisis, everything they are doing another time, it's just going to be going. It won't work.
It will be going other way around.
And you'll be thinking that it's our ìyáálé ọ̀kan.
Ló ń yọ̀ ń lẹ́nu wọ́n ló fáwọn ìyá àgbálẹ̀ àwọn àròpọ̀ àwọn ló ń dá.
That's why in this part of the world we always attribute everything to witchcraft. There is no place there is no witchcraft anywhere in the world, but there are something that are reality. It's not the witchcraft. It's the reality of life that is happening to the person, not witchcraft.
Okay, let's move on. Kí wá ní àwọn nǹkan tí èèyàn mọ̀ dojúkọ tí ó mọ̀ rí tí ó fi mọ̀ pé òun wà nínú midlife crisis? What are the factors? What are the seeds of midlife crisis?
There are some things that you'll be seeing when you are going through midlife crisis. One thing, you may be having lack of appetite even in eating. Yes. Also, you may also be having the feeling of maybe some people are not like you are having the feeling of
standing alone
that you are alone.
Àwọn èèyàn ò ṣùgbọ́n
even in the middle of crowd you be feeling lonely. So that is sometimes that even in a church you may be feeling that they don't even like me in this church again. I don't think I'm welcome in this church again. I'm welcome in this church again. You
may be feeling inferior.
Inferiority complex. It's part of midlife crisis. All of a sudden you just develop it in a church that they love you and everybody, and you say that maybe you missed a church one day and the pastor forget to call you. You just think like, I don't think they like me in that church.
They think I'm not relevant. They don't see me as important again.
So those feelings, when you start to be having some strange feelings about life, that okay, and you are seeing your friends, you are unknowingly you are hating on your friends.
Hatred.
Yeah, exactly. Because what brings about that hatred is jealousy. Because you are looking at your life and you think that you are not doing well.
But they have gone
beyond you. And so maybe you for example, you meet one of your friends in a place and you can see the kind of car he's using, and you are even older than him. And you are not riding anything. And
so you will not want to relate.
You want to relate with them. That's why I say you see some people they may have a reunion in their old secondary school, and some of them will not want to go. That's the crisis.
Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ò ní fẹ́ lọ àwọn pété tó ń bá lọ ṣé wọ́n mọ̀ ṣé wọn ò ní wọ́n bí ẹlẹ́lẹ̀ wípé kí lòun fi lé ayé òun ṣe láti jọ èyí.
So those are the things that trigger midlife crisis. So then you now be thinking too much. Well, after thinking too much, the person will develop high blood pressure.
Depression can set in.
And some people, it may be triggered by ambition. You have a strong ambition, a personal ambition, that you want to do something, you want to get this thing done, you want to become this, you want to become that, and at 35, at 38, at 40, you are not even near that your ambition. it may trigger midlife crisis in that kind of person.